All right, first on, we're going to look at the changes in the slopes and the y-intercepts. So right here, the first thing we're going to do is go and graph the first equation that they have on here. It looks like we're supposed to graph it in green. Okay, so first, we need to remember that we have y equals mx plus b. M is the number next to the x. That's the slope. B is the y-intercept. So as I look at this, I know my slope is 1/2. My b, my y-intercept, is 0.3. Now remember, we're going to use the b to remember how to graph. The b is going to tell me to begin there. The m is going to tell me that I need to move. So I need to pull down these because the graph is way down here. So I pull these down. Let's see, and I have 1/2 and 0.3. M is 1/2. B is 0.3. My begin. You're going to start at the y-intercept. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go on the y-axis and go up to 3 and put a dot. My slope is 1/2. Remember, the top number tells me how to go up or down. The bottom number at the beginning, we're always going to the right. So the top number is positive, or the number is positive, so I'm going to go up. The bottom number, I always go to the right. Okay, so now you'll start back at the y-intercept, and we're going to go up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Starting again, up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Then you can also go backwards. If you go backwards, you do this opposite. You go down 1 to the left 2. So when I go over here, I'm going to go back to the y-intercept. I'm going to go down 1 to the left 2. And you can keep doing that. Down 1 to the left 2, put a dot. Down 1 to the left 2. Once you have your dots, then you're going to draw your line to connect your dots. Let's see there. Okay, here are your dots that you should have and your line drawn. All right, let me erase this right here. And we'll look up here. The next one to do in blue, y equals mx plus b. Well, b is easy. It's right here. It's the 3, so I've got 0.3 again. Now, the slope is the number in front of x. There's not a number written there, so what number is it? The 1. So my slope is 1. All right, so now I'm going to come down here. Let me write down m is 1 and b is 0.3. So I'll bring down my points. Okay. So when I'm graphing, I'm going to start at 3, 0.3 on the y-intercept. So I'll go up here. We're starting at the same point again. But this time my slope, it's just a whole number. How do I change it into a fraction? I put it over 1. Again, my top number tells me how to move up or down. My bottom number will always start off to the right. So the top, it's positive, so I'm going to go up 1 to the right 1 and put a dot. Okay, so here we go. I go back to my y-intercept. I go up 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Starting here, up 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Up 1 to the right 1. Up 1 to the right 1. And I can keep doing that. Going up 1 to the right 1 and making a dot. Up 1 to the right 1. Putting a dot. What if I wanted to go backwards? Down 1 and to the left 1. So I'll go back to my y-intercept. Go down 1 to the left 1. Put a dot. Down 1 to the left 1. Down 1 to the left 1. Okay, now, Now to draw your straight edge, you can use the side of that, the marker box or whatever you need to use to make a straight line. As I go and I make my straight line, there's my next one. All right, the third line we need to graph. Let's see what color. Orange on y'all's, I'm going to use red. Y equals mx plus b. M, the slope right here is 2. B, the y-intercept again is 0, 3. All right, coming on down here. Let me write this down. I've got M is 2. The B is 0, 3. Okay, the y-intercept again is 0, 3. So I'm going to start right here. Now, the slope is 2. I need to make it a fraction, so it's got to be over 1. The top number, this number is positive, so the top number tells me to go up, bottom number to the right. So I'll come back here and I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. That's as far on this graph as I can go. So I can also go backwards and go down 2 to the left 1. So I'm going to grab my little dot again and go down 2 to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. Then you're going to draw your line. So now we should have the 3 lines graphed. What is the same on all 3 lines? They all intersect, the y-intercept is the same. But what's different on all of them? The slope. That's different slopes, different steepness. So the only thing that's different is how steep the line is, right? Some are flatter. Which one's the flattest out of the 3? The flattest would be the green. And if you notice on the slope, on the green, that's a fraction, isn't it? Okay, we'll come into this in a minute. What's the next? What's the next steepest after the green? The blue. And then the steepest one, the one going up the most, is the orange. Or the red, whichever. On mine it's red. What do you notice about those slopes? The flattest one was a fraction. It was, what is this close to? 0. Because what's the slope of a horizontal line? The slope of a horizontal line is 0. So the numbers that are closest to 0 are going to be more flat, or going to be flatter. The farther away from 0 you get, the steeper the line is. Okay, so right here, down on your paper at the bottom, below it, it says, how are they similar and how are they different? We just kind of went through that. They are similar. They have the same y-intercepts, but the slopes, the steepness is different. You should have that written down. Then your next question asks you which line is closest to the y-axis. This one is closer. Oh, no, not the y. That's not it. I was about to say the wrong one. Your second question on your thing, which line is closest to the y-axis? Remember, this is the y-axis right here. Which one is closest to this line? The orange, right? The orange one is the steepest. The blue one is closest to 0, closest to the x-intercept. That one is the flattest. Let's see here. Did we? All right. I'm trying to see here if they have little magic things to write in there. All right. So on your paper, you want to make sure you write down in your notes. It says which line is closer to the y-axis, and that would be the orange or the red, whatever one, whatever color you did. And that's the one that is the steepest. Okay, so in your notes to yourself, you want to make sure that the steeper the line, the closer it is to being the y-axis. See, the y-axis is a vertical line. It goes straight up and down. So the closer it is to a vertical line, the steeper the line is, the larger the slope. Now, the closer the line is to the x-axis, see, like the blue one right here is closest to the x-axis, then that's the flatter the line. Which line is closer to the x-axis? The blue one, which was y equals 1/2 x plus 3. The blue one is flatter. So the closer it gets to a horizontal line, the flatter it is. Okay, so let's look at the other side of that paper over there. For each set of lines, graph the lines on the coordinate plane below. Use the color indicated for each line. Label each line with its equation, then answer the questions that follow. All right, so what we're going to do in black. Now, again, on these, if you're not sure on graphing, then maybe you need to use a pencil when we first start. I'm looking at this equation, y equals mx plus b. What is m? What is the slope? What number is in front of x? If there's no number there, if there's just an x, it's a 1. The b, the begin, doesn't have anything there, so that number is 0. Okay, let's review real quick. What is this equation called? Y equals x. Linear parent function. Write that down next to it. Linear parent function. So we're going to start off. We're going to have, we're going to graph at the y-intercept at 0. My slope is just 1. Make it a fraction and put it over 1. It tells me to go up 1, to the right 2. So I'm going to start here at the y-intercept and go up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Up 1, did I say the right 2? Up 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Up 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Up 1 to the right 1 and put a dot. Up 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Now, if you want to go backwards, do the opposite. Go down 1 to the left 2. So I'm going to go down 1 to the left 2 and put a dot. Down 1 to the left 2, put a dot. Then I'm going to draw my line. Now the next one, oh, my line's kind of off. That's all right. Let's see if I can fix it. There we go. That's better. My next line says y. We've got y equals mx plus b. What's m this time? M is -1 because it's a negative x. My b, again, there's no number added or subtracted, so it's 0. Now, take the -1 and make it into a fraction, -1 over 1. And I'm going to go down 1 to the right 1. So you're going to start at 0, 0 again. Down 1 to the right 1 and put a dot. Down 1 to the right 1, put a dot. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Or you can go backwards. Up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. Now, out of these two equations, did we move the same numbers? Like when I moved my steps, did I go up and over by the same amounts? Yeah, I did. I went up one and over one, up one and over one, or I went down one and over one. What was the only difference? The negative. Okay, these lines are the same steepness. They are the same steepness. The only thing that's different is their direction. Because if it's positive, it's going up. If it's negative, it's going down. That's the only difference, but the steepness is the same. All right, let's look at the next one. This time in red. M is the number in front of the X, 1/3. B is what's added or subtracted, so I have 0, 1. Now, this is positive, so this is telling me to go up 1. And then the bottom number is to the right. So now I'm going to go put my dot at 0, 1. I'm going to now go up 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and put a dot. Up 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and put a dot. Up 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, put a dot. I can go backwards. Down 1 to the left, 3. Down 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3. Down 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3. Down 1 to the left, 3. And then I'm going to draw my line. All right, the next one, the slope is negative 1/3. The y-intercept is 0, 1. Now this time it's negative 1/3. Since it's negative, it tells me to go down 1 to the right, 3. So the y-intercept stays the same in this. Down 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3. Down 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3. Down 1 to the right, 3. To go backwards, I'm going to go up 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3. Up 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3. And then you'll draw your line. Now, what is the same? Out of these two lines, they have the same y-intercept. But like I stated the last time, this has the same steepness. They are the same distances away from being a horizontal line. The only thing that's different is the direction of those lines. Okay, take a minute now. Let's graph these two lines. So I'm not going to use purple, I'm going to use blue. But my slope is 3. My y-intercept is 0, negative 2. 3 goes over 1. It's positive. It's telling me to go up 3 to the right 1. So I'm going to go down here to negative 2 and put a dot. That's my y-intercept. My slope, up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Up 3 to the right 1. Then I can go backwards and go down 3 to the left 1. Down 3 to the left 1. And then I'm going to draw my line. The second line, the slope is negative 3. The y-intercept is 0, negative 2. It's negative 3 over 1. down 3 to the right 1. Starting at 0, negative 2, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. Or backwards, which is up 3 to the left 1. Up 3 to the left 1. And then I can draw my line. Okay. We talked about that. Oh, wait, let's go back. Well, did it? Oh, God, you willikers. Okay, so when it talks about compare the steepness of the graphs, the steepness are the same, and the y-intercepts are the same. The only thing that is different is the direction. The only thing that is different is the direction of the line. And that is caused by the negative and positive. Now, look at these equations. All the equations have the same y-intercept, but the only thing that's different are the slopes. Okay? Forget about positive and negative. Forget about those negative signs. Only look at the numbers. Which of these numbers is closer to 0? 1/4 is 0.25. 2/3 is 0.66. Which one is the closest to 0? 0.25, right? This is the flattest. So if I had to rank them from 1 to 4, hint, 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 you may have to do this. Rank them from steepness from flattest to steepest. This would be the first one. What would be the next one? 0.66, right there, the 2/3. Because I'm gradually getting away from 0. What's the next steepest? The 3, and then the 4. This is not on your paper. This is just up here on the board. Okay, because as you look at these equations, here's the 1/4. This is the flattest. Negative 2/3 is right here, the green. It's just showing it all graphed. Now, let's see. Where did your one part of your paper go? Okay, so it doesn't have it on your one paper. It asks you to identify the slopes of each graph of the lines graphed. Okay, so I guess I thought that they put it on here. I guess not. I guess not. I'm just flipping through screens. Okay, so let's see. It asked you on this table. Okay, we have all of our equations. Let's try and do some of them here. And you have a number line down there. Okay, so we've got y equals x, y equals negative x, y equals 1/3 x plus 1, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 1, y equals 3x minus 2, y equals negative 3x minus 2. It asks you down here to write the slope. So we know that the slope of this first one is 1, negative 1, 1/3, negative 1/3, 3, and negative 3. You should have that down on your paper. Now, I've got a number line. If I went to go graph those on a number line, this number would be 1 right here and -1. The point to this is trying to show you that the -1 and the 1, they're the same distance away from 0, aren't they? Okay, they're the same difference away from 0, so that's why they're the same steepness. The only thing that was the different is the direction of where it goes. -1/3 and positive 1/3, -1/3. Again, same distance away from 0. That's why it's the same steepness. The 3 and the -3, again, same thing. They are the same distance away from 0. That's why their steepness is the same. The positive and negative doesn't matter other than direction. So right here it was saying create groups with the same steepness. When I look at things like these right here, I'm trying to look at just the slopes. -5/2, what would have the same steepness? 5/2, right? These two would go together. The 0.4 and the -0.4, those two go together. I've lost some of my numbers here. Let's see where they'll go. The 1/2 and the -1/2, they go together. The 4 and the -4. I think you guys have gotten the point. It might be a little bit of an overkill on this assignment, I think. Yes. The y-intercepts don't have anything to do with it. So yeah, so as long as the slopes are the same, they have the same steepness. Okay? All right, flip your paper over to the back. It says Beatrice is typing a research paper. The paper must be a certain length, so she's counting the number of words closely. She has 200 words typed already. Each minute she can type approximately 50 words, so she uses this equation. All right. So it says, how does the situation change if the slope is changed to 25 instead? Okay, so at first, let's go and graph on our paper y equals 50x plus 200. Okay, let's graph this. I'm going to start my y-intercept as 200. So I'm going to start on my y-axis and go to 200 and put a dot. My slope is 50/1. That means to go up 50 to the right 1. Well, every 2 lines is 50. And down here on the x-axis, what am I going by? Okay, each line is by 1s. So I'm going to go up 50 and to the right 1. Up 50 to the right 1. Up 50 to the right 1. Up 50 to the right 1. There's my line, the original line. Now it's asking, how does it change the situation if we change the slope to 25? So what if we did y equals 25x plus 200? Use a different color for this one. Am I starting at the same spot? Yeah, I'm starting at 200, right? So I'll start at 200, but this time my slope is 25/1. So I'm going to go up 25 to the right 1. Up 25 to the right 1. Put a dot. Up 25 to the right 1. How did that change my graph? How did it change my graph? It made it a flatter line. Okay, so what is that what's happening in my problem? In my problem, instead of the fact that she can type 50 words each minute, now she types what per minute? 25 words per minute. Okay. Do the next one. Take a minute and do the next one. Okay, so on this one it says Bob charges $15 per hour plus an initial fee of $10. Your equation up here, y equals your rate of change, how much you're paying each time, each hour, 15, and put the x with it. Then you add the one-time fee, the initial fee. That should be your first equation. Y equals 15x plus 10. So I'll go down here. I've got, well, I guess I'll wait a second. Then it says, how would the graph of the situation change if the initial fee was changed to 20? Y equals, well, I've still got $15 per hour, but this time it's an initial fee of $20. Those are the two equations you should have come up with. Okay, so the first one I'm going to graph, I'm going to start at 10. And it's 15 over 1. So I'm going to go up 5, 10, 15 to the right 1. Up 5, 10, 15 to the right 1. And let me see, I got to draw my line. The next one, this time I'm starting at 20. Then my rate of change is still 15 over 1. 5, 10, 15 to the right 1. 5, 10, 15 to the right 1. What happened to my line? Are they steeper? Did the steepness change? So one's flatter than the other? No, the steepness is only affected by the slope. These are the same. These are parallel lines. Yeah, the steepness stayed the same. What changed was the y-intercept. I shifted it up 10 units. All we did was shift the equation up 10 units. So every number on here, every point is the same except for it's up 10 points.